on the next edition of Soul Survivors.
I didn't really think about it. I just pulled out and just really shot. Bam!
At 16, a young man from the Bronx follows a destructive path.
I had a gangster mentality, thought I was a gangster.
But where he ends up, few would imagine.
To me, nothing is impossible.
They still be killing people around here?
Well, it's still a little hot, but not as hot as like our time in 88, 87, and 86 was a little bit more hectic. It was a little bit more hostile.
When you were growing up, how did you imagine your future? Did you see yourself as a cop, a rock star, a gangster?
I had a gangster mentality, thought I was a gangster.
While still in high school, Jason Rodriguez would see his entire life change in one fatal moment.
And in the spark of a moment, your whole life can change. My name is Jason Rodriguez. I'm an actor, director, producer, and writer. I was living a double life. I was going to school during the day, doing everything right. And then after that, at night, I would come out and hang out in the streets.
They put a little mobile tower.
It's still there?
Yeah, they put it again because they killed somebody last week.
Wow, we definitely got to go, run through that little spot.
I met Jason when we was little. We was about probably maybe like 8, 9 years old. You know, like he really never got into no trouble, you know, until like, you know, got older.
I had a gangster mentality, thought I was a gangster, and the incident happened. We was hanging out one day, some guys came, they attacked us first verbally. It was verbal, and then when they started, it got physical. One of the individual where the crime, the incident happened, attacked and jumped towards me, and I had a weapon on me, and that's when I pulled out and fired and shot the individual. When he attacked towards me, like I didn't really think about it, I just pulled out and just really shot. Bam! Shot twice, got up, we just ran and left. And that's how it is, man. In the spark of a moment, your whole life can change. Not even realizing.
He came back around the block. He had told us and was like, yo, listen, man, you know, I got into a little trouble and altercation around, you know, and I shot somebody. You know, we told him, yo, Dad, you know, what are you gonna do, man? We was all like shocked, like, you know, that's not Jason, you know, he wasn't the type to, you know, go around doing that. You know, he took somebody's life, you know, and, you know, he went to jail. It affected me a lot, man. You know, when you're a child, you know, you're used to your best friend sitting right beside you every day, and then all of a sudden, he's gone.
you're sitting in there, they close that door, you're in that cell, 8 by 10, what, 8 by 10, 8 feet by 20, 8 by 12, whatever it is. It's small, it's like a little box with a sink, a toilet in there, and you're in there. Only thing you could think of, man, am I ever gonna come out? What did I do? Why did I do this? You know, then you begin to think about your family. You know, everything that you should have thought about before you did it, now you're sitting there and you're thinking, how am I gonna overcome this? What's gonna happen? Will I be able to survive? You know, they'll rob you for your personal property. They'll take your sneakers, they'll take your coat, they'll take your shirt, and nothing never happened to me because of the people that I happen to know that were incarcerated before I was. Every time you come from the visit, they strip search you, they make you take your clothes off, they dehumanize you by looking through your private parts, your body, everything. When they're searching you, going to the visits, you know, that's a hardship. They calling your name through the loudspeaker. Oh yeah, I went down to the chaplain's office and they're telling me, yeah, I think your mother is sick. When they put me on the phone, I got on the phone with my father. My father was like, you know, moms might be really sick. Are you ready? You prepared yourself for it? Are you preparing yourself for it? And they give you an option if you want to go to a wake or a deathbed visit. That's what my father told me, that my mother was brain dead. And if I wanted to go down, I said I would like to rather see her in the deathbed visit. And that's when I took, you know, I chose that, and they took me that same day. I still haven't cried about it to this day. You know, by then I was already a little bit trying to be strong and cold, even though, you know, it's all right to cry, but I didn't cry. I was just like, I was preparing myself, like, what am I going to do if I do happen to lose my mother or I do happen to lose my father? What am I going to do? So psychologically, I was already preparing myself for that. Call you in, so I went down and it was like, well, your father passed away. I was like, what? I just spoke to him yesterday. And it just happened instantly. And I went down to the wake, but by then I was already stronger. I was like, wow, I was already prepared when my mom's passed away, but really wasn't really prepared for my father passing away. I was in incidents in 2 facilities where people were killed while I was there. One was over a t-shirt, over a shirt, and the guy stabbed him over a shirt and he died. You have a lot of brothers that did lose their mind. Psychologically, they just get crazy. They start speaking to themselves, talking to themselves. It's like another whole world. And of course you feel suffocated, you feel frustrated. There's things you want to do that you can't do. But then physically they have you, but mentally they don't. As we're teaching and training each other, praying together, you know, people that eat together and pray together stay stronger together. Spirituality also has a tendency of dealing with the self. Dealing with self. Because you can't change the condition of a people without changing the condition within yourself. We have to be conscious of who we walk around, because if you're not strong, you can easily be led that way. It's easy to be led in the wrong direction and hard to be led in the right direction. They had houses here, so they knocked them houses down and bought all the property.
Yeah, that's what we used to play back. We used to go right here and play right back in the back right here all the time.
This is the way to cut through. Them buildings back there were abandoned. The church, you see it now, the church is still falling apart. Yeah. I'm surprised that it's still there and it's still falling apart. As soon as I came out, I drove through Times Square and everything looked different. All the signs were different. the honking of the horns, the pressures while you're driving. Everything's a little scary because remember, you've been walking around, you pull them, the car, the beeps, the honking. I was just really flabbergasted. I was amazed just looking at everything. You know, this wasn't here when I left. That wasn't here when I left. I went through the street that I grew up on was traffic that used to come in from the main boulevard. Now the traffic is going out to the main boulevard, so they changed the direction of the street. There used to be a big abandoned lot, now it was a school. Like so much was changed dramatically. This is like where we did everything at.
In the morning, where we used to be at early in the morning, right here. This was our spot.
Our spot used to be right there early in the morning. When we was youngin', we used to be hustling right here. Right here we used to be hustling, just grinding, vibing.
I guess that's why they put the gates, man, for, you know, it make it harder for a person to do things, like to, you know, sell drugs.
We used to have, see, back then they used to have the tournaments. The basketball tournaments used to be here, back on the weekends.
After 17 years of me seeing him again, I was like, oh man, yo, it was wonderful. As soon as he came home, I bought him this. Matter of fact, the sneakers you probably seen him with, I bought them for him. You know, he still got them, he cherished it, you know, like.
Yeah, you remember, well, Niv remember, man. Niv remember, man, back in the days, man, in 88, we was on our grind, we was hustling and hanging out, you know, living a double life, going to school during the day and coming out at night, and we were coming over here and we were hustling, we was grinding. I would say my mentality was warped because I had the gangster mentality. You know, I thought nothing could happen to me. I had that heat. You know how when we pack that heat, how it feels like we know it's about to go down. You know, the mentality, when you have that urge of power, make you feel like you got that power when you're holding that heat. So it was an altercation that probably could have been avoided if my mentality would have been more different. I would have had more empathy. Yeah. See, at 16 years old, I had just turned 16. I still thought like a child.
After a good 4 years in prison, I met Jason. I went to a prison where he was already at. We was in the same housing unit. And we met, we clicked off, we used to study together, and we used to play basketball together, and we used to hang out.
I didn't have my birth certificate, I didn't have a social security card, I didn't have anything. I had to go through that whole process. I couldn't even get an ID. And that ID, I think, is only good for 30 to 60 days. As soon as after that, I went in looking for jobs. I remember I had no experience, so I had to make up, like I used my favorite phrase, that I was a concoction of a resume to say that I had some experience, which I had none. They see, have you ever been convicted of a felony, because you don't want to lie to them, and then they give you the job and then they find out they're going to fire you anyway. And so you were convicted for a felony. You know, how much time did you do? What did you do? This, that, and the third. Then they begin to question you. And the minute you tell them what happened and the case which you was convicted for and everything, kind of like hinders. They're really afraid to give you the chance, because the people they gave a chance before me being released messed it up. Shoot it. Good pass. Nice, shot the pass. Shoot it. Oh!
When he first came home and I saw him, I was astonished, and besides the crying and getting over that, I couldn't believe he didn't have a tattoo on his body, and I was expecting all that. And when I saw him that his body was non-tattoo and he looked so clean cut, and I was really surprised. But you gotta finish, or they'll let you go, ask for permission and...
I know I have to go through the whole process, asking permission and waiting and seeing if I have another address over there. Somebody was still at least there to take their place. As soon as I was released, she was there to take their place. Like, look, I'm going to support you and we're going to move on from here. Forget it. And then, you know, the transition began from there. Like, coming home, you would think, you know, you're going to be all slouched and scared. I wasn't afraid. I was ready to accept the challenge. I have around 4 years on parole left, so it's a minute. I'm still, they babysit. I'm still state property.
Yeah, it's still going
I'm
through
still
the
state
motions.
property. I'm in America and still state property. You know, when God created the universe, He destroyed the impossible. So to me, nothing is impossible. And that's just my mindset. And with that mindset is what made me to be strong. Because when I came out here, it's like I never left. I'm doing the right thing. If you're doing the right thing, then you don't have to worry about, I'm going to get violated, I'm going back, I have to worry about this, I have to worry about that. So that's the blessing. I know I come in there and do the right thing, and they know it. So they try to get me in and out as quick as possible. Just make sure I haven't had any police contact. Make sure that I'm doing the right thing, working. They know about the projects I'm working on. So it's all, you know, they give me a little leeway because they see that I'm doing the right things. Prison taught me how to wash my own clothes. I learned how to wash my own clothes. I learned how to sew. I learned how to cook. I learned how to use, you know, I'm not a manual. I'm not really a labor type guy, but I learned how to fix certain things. You know, prison, I grew up, and I turned into a man. I became a man in there because in there you have no choice. 7, you did 7. Yeah, no, 3. He got 8. He's passing it to me.
He would discuss with me, you know, the little ups and downs that he was going through. And I would tell him, hang in there, you know, something will come through. And I would talk to him just like if he was my son. I'm like, where would you like to go anyway?
I don't know, eventually when I'm my move, my transition is to hit LA eventually.
Yeah.
Yes, I hit LA, hit Los Angeles, you know, eventually that's where most of the opportunities are.
Exactly, yeah.
You need positive individuals or like-minded individuals around you, or people that are going to support you regardless. And that's what that spirituality was just building within myself. They called me in. The casting director gave me the script. I read the script and she's like, have you ever done this before? I said, nah, I'm what you call a natural. She started laughing. She says, I see. You are, because 95% of the actors that come in here to audition are still nervous. And these guys have been doing it. So I said, all right, fine. And that's how I got into show business without knowing any knowledge of anything.
At the age of 16, he was put in prison and served a 17-year sentence, and now he has launched an acting career and acted with the likes of Edward Norton, Colin Farrell, John Voight, and many others.
And when I got on the set, the PA, that's when it hit me. He's like, this is your trailer. I said, what? He said, yeah, this is your trailer. You're going to use this trailer right here. Then after that, he was like, this budget is $30 million. I was like, what?
I was kind of shocked because I was like looking at the movie and I'm like, yo, wait, hold up. I see,